This feels so overwhelming. This is why most people quit. I cannot tell you how frustrated. I had the best workout ever. That's it. I'm fit for life. Is that how working out works? Or does it work like, oh, I have to do something every day for an hour, every day for the rest of my life to stay fit and healthy? Which is going to produce better long-term results? The latter, right? Everybody knows the latter. Natural skill is 48% and showing up is 92%. So what can we control? We can control the showing up part. Why most people quit, and people quit too early. This feels so overwhelming. This is why most people quit. I cannot tell you how frustrated and excited, the roller coaster of emotions that I have been on this last week is impressive. I'm impressing myself. I don't know the last time I had this many emotions, okay? And I want to talk about it. I want to share it with you. This will be a timeless video. It is in regards to AI and AI specific systems and businesses that are, or people that are building systems in AI and have decided to take that road. And it is a new technology and there's no wrong or right way to do it right now. We don't really have a whole lot to look at, and it's really a new frontier. And I want this to be a timeless video where you can watch it today or a year from now and still be able to extract really useful information from it and thought-provoking questions. Because I have found as I build these systems, the more angles I look at the problem, the more likely I am to find the solution. So my hope is that by the end of this video, you will have more tools in your tool belt to either go back and prompt your agent or think to yourself how to solve this for longer term. Try to anticipate the next constraint that you're going to see in your system and try to plan for it before it happens. And sometimes you just can't. Sometimes just things go sideways and explode and there's nothing you can do about it to prevent it, or it wasn't your fault. But I'm here to document my struggles along the way, the thought patterns I'm looping into and out of, how I'm getting out of those and continuing to make progress and moving forward. Okay, because at the end of the day, you can have the thought that you want to quit, or you can have the thought that this is stupid, this is worthless, and be mad and be ready to throw in the towel, and then get up the next day and just do it anyway. So AI moves fast and most people feel behind before they even start. Yeah, I'm right there in that boat. I am 100% a completely normal person. I am not an AI avatar or anything like that. I'm not an IT person. I have been working in white collar. I was like 19 or 20. So I've been working as a professional in services and agencies for 22 years, something like that. And so I'm not a Luddite per se, but I'm also not like an expert or like a computer person, right? And it can feel very overwhelming, and that's 100% normal. And I do want to encourage more people to try to build their own systems. And that's one of the reasons why I am doing this series and allowing everybody to use me as the benchmark, because as I talk to IT professionals and other software builders and developers, the concern is that AI will be replacing people and replacing them. And some people have the thesis that people like me will be able to just build their own software, and the ADPs and Adobe's and Microsoft's will all go, maybe not Microsoft, but the companies that are software heavy, where their entire business is just their software, they may go out of business. And that may be true, but I think there's levels to this game. It's going to progress software to become better, I believe, for the consumer and very value-based. And it will also allow entrepreneurs to build custom systems. So the way I see AI right now is it's a new layer of operating system. Way back when the first program, you had to print cards with paper and a printer, and then somebody had to walk over and put those stacked cards into a machine, and it would run processes with those numbers on printed paper. And that's where we are right now. That's the leap that I believe we're taking between code. So code is typing in code. Now we don't even have to type in code. We can have agents write all the code. But there's a level of understanding in all the different systems and all the different ways to customize your agent that are now possible that were never possible before. So anyway, so if this feels overwhelming, it is 100% normal. And I have felt behind my entire life. This is nothing new for me, so I am used to this feeling. But yeah, when you watch somebody and you're online and they're 20 and they are saying they have a 24/7 multi-agent system that's operating 24/7, and you're over here, you've been working on it for 30 days and you barely have like one agent stable, so it can be hard to not draw comparisons between yourself and another person on the internet or the content creator that you're watching on YouTube. And I have some thoughts about that. Okay, there's reasons why we can't compare ourselves to other people. My life is probably extremely more complicated than a 20-year-old's life, that's one aspect. And it's like, okay, if you have a 24/7 running agent, is it just like producing videos and like avatars and stuff, or is it actually running a business? Is it, what are the different levels? Is it doing your taxes? And when we say, is it running your business, like, is it just sending like customer service emails, and how complicated is your product anyway? Do you have a complicated product? Because I know, so anyway, there's just so many different layers to this thing, so we can't really compare ourselves to other people. We do want to compare a little bit, but not too much. Okay, not to the point where it makes us quit or feel stupid or feel like our efforts have been fruitless, because if we focus on that, we're going to quit. So the first step is to have a can-do attitude, problem solving. And the way I've stayed in this is remaining curious. I'm just fascinated. This is just fascinating to me on so many levels, the psychological level, the philosophical level, what's real, what's not, and what's possible, what's not. I mean, my brain, I just love thinking about all of these subjects. And there was a euphoria when I first used Claw, and I could see like it was working and it was stable and it was doing shit. Like it was just like this huge aha moment, and my brain shifted and exploded, and I rode that wave. And again, time is so hard for me to comprehend because so much is happening in just a day or a week that it's hard for me to say how long it was. But I want to say it was like the first week, maybe two, maybe it was the first 30 days. I don't even know. But that I was just, this is the best thing ever. There's no failing. Like I can't do anything wrong. Like what are people talking? And then you have your first hard day and it's just like, oh my God, do I have to start over? Where is this? I don't remember how to do X, Y, and Z. Or if you have the Claw or Hermes do too much for you and you don't get in the terminal and you don't run commands and you don't know some of the basics of where to find stuff and how the files work and where they are and which works, is it in a workspace, is it somewhere else, the harder it's going to be to troubleshoot and kind of come back from a catastrophic event. So your first hard day, you hit friction and it just can really start to spiral. It starts a downward spiral. So my thought with this, when I really started to go down the negative spiral, I was trying to find solutions for the problems that I was having. And as I was watching other content creators, I'm seeing these kids that have 24-hour systems. They're doing this. And they're like, it's so easy. And you can, this and that. And just talking about how easy it is and how fast they can produce this and that, which is great, and I'm usually really happy for that. I really am. I'm usually a Labrador Retriever most of the time. What I had to kind of remind myself is where I had to take my mind to was a repeated lesson that I've learned over and over and over again, and it applies here too, is, and I take this back to working out, just because that's the best metaphor I can draw to give you a clear picture in your mind of what I'm talking about. If you go and work out and have a killer workout, the best workout you've ever had in your life, and you go home and you're like, I'm done. I had the best workout ever. That's it. I'm fit for life. Is that how working out works? Or does it work like, oh, I have to do something every day for an hour every day for the rest of my life to stay fit and healthy, which is going to produce better long-term results. The latter, right? Everybody knows the latter version. Same goes with learning really anything. I mean, you can sit down and cram and you can probably pass a test. Yes, cramming does work. But if you want long-term real world results, it would be better to do a little bit every day and commit to that over a certain period of time than it would to just cram. So we're going to have 2 case studies. Well, let's say we'll have Adam and Bob. And Adam downloads OpenClaw and works on it for 24/7 and never touches it again. Okay, he might get really far, but is he going to reach all of his goals and objectives? Probably not. Versus Bob, who says, I'm going to work an hour a day on this for the next year. You know, who's going to get farther, Adam or Bob? Bob is probably going to get a lot farther than Adam. So I don't want to discount the sprint, the sprint work. And sprinting's great. I do love sprinting. I mean, as far as working is concerned, I hate physically sprinting. I'm not a sprinter. But I don't want to discount the importance of feeling that motivation and diving into something and working on something for 24 hours straight. That can be a beautiful thing, and that sounds actually quite relaxing and quite wonderful at this moment. But most of us are unable to do that. We have other things going on. We have work. We have kids. We have to do dishes and laundry and drive people to summer camps and all these things. So we cannot dedicate and throw ourselves at a project for 24 hours straight. So my 3-year daily habit AI. So 1 hour small daily reps beat random weekend sprints. Okay. So as I look back over since ChatGPT came out and gave us the first OpenAI chatbot, I have told myself I would use it every day. And I have been using some sort of AI technology every single day. And at the time, looking back, I'm like, oh, I'm not good at AI. I just never thought of myself as an AI person. But now I'm looking back and I go, wow, I've done way more than most people. And most people have no idea what the hell I'm talking about when I'm talking about OpenClaw and Hermes. Okay, so the goal is to not have perfect days, just repeating days, just sequencing days, stringing days together, not mastering everything, just learning the next useful thing. Can I learn one thing today? Can we make one improvement today? Some days that feels impossible, and it was impossible this week. Not chasing hype, just building a habit that survives busy weeks. Learn it to save time, solve problems, think clearer, or help someone else faster. So get your why, like why are you even starting this? And I do have a presentation in here on my why and why I even started it, so you can stay tuned for that. But the footnotes version is I wanted to know what was real. I'm tired of listening to other people's opinions. I'm tired of listening and waiting for the Anthropic CEO or this other person to come out and tell me where AI is and what AI can do. I want to know. And one of the reasons I really want to know is because of crypto, because I have been watching crypto for 6, 7, 8, 10 years, and increasingly so over that 10-year period. And one of the reasons why I'm even doing this is to understand what is useful and what is not. These projects come out and they tell you they're going to revolutionize the world, and then you get in there and you start researching and you find out it's just all smoke and mirrors. This is just another layer of, okay, all these cryptos, they say they're working. I want to get in there. Does it work? How does it work? Is it a year to implement something like this? Is it 5 years? It gives me more of a realistic understanding of what is possible now and what could be possible in the future. So the 1 hour a day strategy, 10 minutes, pick one goal, name that thing, test ideas, fix the block, and save the win. Write down what worked so tomorrow starts faster. And that is definitely a great loop to have your agent do every single day, and why consistency can beat talent. So talent helps you start faster. Yeah, there are people out there, IT professionals, that can start on OpenClaw and they don't have to sit here and research the difference between a Mac Mini and another laptop or another option, or what are all these GPUs, CPUs, what is the RAM I need. They don't need to research that as much or take as long to make a decision because they know these things. I have to get in there, I have to research what are the different, Mac Mini, what are the different ones? I've never looked at really Macs, and why are people using that over other things? And yeah, I had to put 30 days of research into hardware, watching videos on different hardware and listening to people trying different AI on different hardware. So motivation is 35%, natural skill is 48%, and showing up is 92%. So what can we control? We can control the showing up part. The constraint framework, what's blocking you? So don't ask, why am I bad at this? Ask, what's the constraint? What's blocking me? Is it my hardware? Is it my model? Is it my mindset? And there are different categories of what the constraint is. And constraint number one is your mindset. So common block, I'm behind, I'm not technical, I'm not a tech bro, I'm not an IT person, I'm not a computer person. I should already know this. So feeling like when you're listening to these people explain how to use these tools, they may say some technical jargon, and sometimes people's brains just shut off. They just think, I don't understand, and literally just get distracted and start watching TikTok or an Instagram reel, or, try to hang in there. Try to just learn through osmosis. So just get through the video, force yourself to listen to it. And if you do that every day for 30 days, I guarantee you it will be easier on day 31 than it was on day 1. I only need the next step. I can learn one thing today. I can learn one thing, learn about skills, or learn about soul.md, learn about constitutions, learn about operating systems, learn some of the basics. Constraint number 2, your tools and models. So constraint number 1 is you and the way you're thinking about the problem. Constraint number 2 is your tools and models. So too many options. You need to pick one core tool first instead of chasing every single new thing. Focusing on one thing that you would like to outsource to AI instead of your whole life. So don't start out with your whole life. It's just gonna mesh all things up. And I will have another video coming out on how I onboarded an agent successfully and how I onboarded an agent and it went to complete shit. So I'll tell you what I'm good at. I'm good at using something and then continually pushing the accelerator down. I start out real slow and then I go like this. And the next thing you know, I've got my foot on the floor and I'm flooring this thing. I'm like, okay, how long can I floor it? Can I floor it for an hour? Can I floor it for 1 minute? Can I floor it for 2 seconds? Can I even floor it at all? And that's what I'm good at. So I have broken all sorts of things this week and I will have updates. I also have another video talking about my agent drama. So if you are somebody that likes stories and listening to all the different social, conversational, possibly sentient questions that come up, I have information, I have an update on that. I do want to pull that string as well because I think it's fun. No test habit is the next one. Run the same task through different models and compare the output. Using Perplexity. I've really enjoyed using Perplexity because I have the option to choose different models within one subscription. It was nice to have Perplexity there as a troubleshooting tool. And so I don't know if I'm ever going to terminate that. One of my big accomplishments this week, which I will talk about in another video, was that I canceled my OpenAI and Anthropic subscription. And that was one of my goals that I wanted to see if I could accomplish. And I was able to do that. No safe system, keeping the best prompts, workflows, and examples in one place. Also making sure your agent keeps records of any changes along the way. Constraint number 3, your hardware setup. Clean your tabs, folders, shortcuts, and default tools. Make your next session easy to start in under 60 seconds. So one of my problems is I keep a thread going. I just keep adding and adding and adding. So one thing that I do is I close it out every day, and Hermes is supposed to categorize everything overnight, and update all these things. Making sure you have the right hardware for the right tools. I'm currently using my Mac Mini for content like image. It seems like the Macs are really great at video, images, that sort of thing. Okay, so I've made my Mac Mini, more of a PR. There's a copyright agent in there as well. It can get confusing and it starts mixing the two styles together. And I found that just separating roles very clearly gives a better output. So what to do when nothing works? 1, shrink the task down. Make the steps smaller, step by step by step. Name the exact problem. Try 1 new input, not 10. You want to tweak 1 little thing, see if that works. Why stepping away is a part of the process. So there's been a lot of times where I'm just like hitting a wall, banging my head. There was a couple of times this week where I know I made progress that day, which is why I was able to walk away. But I hate ending the day with an open issue. And the more you work with these systems, or the more I've worked with them, it's never ending. There's just always another string to pull. And you just have to walk away. You just have to be like, that's it, we're done. And go play with the kids, go on a hike, get outside, look at a tree, get out of the room with all the computers in it. So how to get to more breakthrough days. Show up enough days to notice patterns. Fix 1 bottleneck at a time, and then one day the thing that felt really hard feels normal. So as I look back on my journey that started with Claw, I was so scared to do it. I did it anyway. And as I did it, obviously I became more comfortable with it and I understood what it was and what it was doing. And I've increasingly learned more every day. So one day you wake up and it's easier. One day you wake up and you're like, oh gosh, I know. So when I first started this, like I barely used a terminal. And now I'm like, oh yeah, open the terminal. Which one? Is it this one? Is it that one? It was intimidating for me the first time I opened a terminal. The first time I opened a terminal was I want to say it was January of 2026. And 5 months later, I have multiple AI agents on their own computers running on a local model. Like, this was never possible before. And I also have another video that I'm doing on, it is also a mindset video, and how to stay optimistic and why we should not take this for granted, and how I got mad at myself because I felt like I was taking it for granted. Start where you are, not where others are. So you got to start right where you are. You do not need to keep pace with anybody. Your only job, show up for 1 hour tomorrow. So start simple, find your constraint, stay with it, even on hard days. So I found that when I started, I had to act in spite of feeling uncomfortable and act in spite of being afraid. Did I want to spend $1,000 on a Mac Mini? No, I didn't. I didn't want to spend it. I don't like spending money. And I just kept coming back to, if I can figure out how this works, it is the highest leverage activity that I can do. And it is my job to find things for me to do that are as high leverage as possible. Like, how can I make more time with the time I have? How can I do more with the time I have? And I had that experience, I've talked about it before, where when Anthropic was running on all cylinders and we had like access to everything for a couple of weeks on the like $20 plan or whatever it was like the really inexpensive plan, or maybe it was the $200 plan first came out. I saw what was possible and what Anthropic was doing, and I said, okay, we're doing this. We're figuring this out. I don't want to have to rely on Anthropic to give me the most productive day of my life. So I wanted control over my own destiny, and this is my way I'm deciding to do that. So with that, thank you for hanging out to the end, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.